Hello, my name is Arpita. I teach courses in clinical research. I provide GCP training and GCP audit too. I work with many clinical research institute, pharmacy colleges and medical colleges as a faculty, placement persons and visiting lecturer respectively. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss about the importance of clinical research industries in this world. So let's begin with that. With the upsurge of COVID-19, the word clinical research has slowly become a known. Rather, it would not be wrong to say that common man has become more aware about this terminology of clinical trials or clinical research. We must have come across sentences in our news channels that vaccine trials are in this phase or that phase of the trial. However, if we talk about the layperson in a particular, talking about the majority of the people who do not belong to the healthcare or medical industry, are not aware in depth of what actually clinical trials are and what role does it play in our daily lives. Be it from consuming any over-the-counter drug like paracetamol for a simple headache or a fever, or anti-cancer medicines or medicines for complex medical conditions or diseases. Media is an indispensable and a very strong mode of communications to reach out to the people. But what if the very same platform portrays stories, ideas, movements, or films without proper research and in-depth knowledge of the subject? In a country like ours, where our day-to-day lives are highly affected with the televisions, would have inexplicable and unwanted consequences of the same. Clinical trials has been one such subject of controversy till date. So I just thought of throwing some lights on this aspect from my end as well, being a responsible citizens and part of clinical research and healthcare industry. If I talk in a simple terms, clinical trials means testing medicines or drugs or new chemical entities on volunteers for betterment of patients suffering from variety diseases. These terms like testing, trying, trial or research needs to be understood for it to not be manipulated henceforth. Let's begin with medicines used in almost every household like paracetamol. Have you ever given a thought how did it even land up in our market? How come we take it without any even prescriptions of any doctor, and more importantly without experiencing any side effect? Or have you ever wondered that why sometimes it's dose of 500 mg and now it's part of Dolo 650? Did you wonder why the babies born have to be vaccinated within a predetermined time for them to be saved from grave diseases like polio, tuberculosis, typhoid, etc., etc.? And how conveniently do parents allow the child to be vaccinated, and where these vaccinations come from? I'm sure, well, this becomes a possible due to the clinical trial. Let me tell you, these all medicines and vaccines are tried and tested on permitted animals, healthy volunteers, patients, before releasing into the market for our consumption and vaccinations. Another uh, well-known example is trial conducted for COVID vaccines. How would we have them? How would we have them without knowing side effects or safety effects of that particular vaccinations? How do you think that we know that vaccines have to be taken 2 times for them to be effective? And of course, who do you think would have participated for such trials and why? Each and every drug, right from all the antibiotics, medicines to the treat malaria, HIV, cancers, even cosmetics, goes through the series of tests before it's found fit for the patient and human consumptions. You must also be wondering why would people participate in such trials? Where there are many reasons. Some may participate in clinical trial. They tried all the available medicines and failed, and the new medicines given them a ray of hope. Some participate because there is no treatment to their health problems and the only hope is the new drug that is in the trial by which they may find about the treatment of the disease. Some participate despite being healthy because they know that there are diseases out there, the treatment of which is unknown or still being discovered, and their contribution can help many of such patients or people suffering who have lost hopes of their survival. Another question that would come to another question that would definitely come to your mind would be, if we are trying new medicines or drugs on people, about their safety, or are we using them just for the sake of our experiment, or the most famous word, guinea pig? And the answer is no. Any new drug on which trial has to be done passes through 4 phases of the trials, that is phase 1, 2, 3 and 4 on humans. However, before this, there is one more phase which comes into preclinical trials, where these drugs are tested with due permissions from government authorities on animals to identify the maximum safe dose, even keeping in mind safety of these animals. Once we achieve these maximum safe dose that can be tolerated, fractions of these dose is tested on human volunteers. Thus, we see that we thoroughly keep in mind the safety of the participants. Going further, before initiating any of such trials, due permission is taken from our authorities, and only after we get permission to do so, the trials are initiated. These healthy volunteers or the patients who are the candidates in the trials are never kept ignorant of the medicines that are being given to them. Instead, they are given an informed consent document that has all the detailed information about the drugs, their indications, their adverse reactions, which is intended to be used, including the benefits, its side effects, as I said, and also the details of how any untoward medical events would be managed. We have all the doctors, medical monitors who are certified to oversee and handle such trials. Apart from these, there is an establishment known ethics committee, whose role is to see that the trials are being conducted ethically with due consent of patients and the benefits that the patient would have out of such participations. The clinical research industry is based entirely on the set of certain rules and regulations that has to be mandatory followed under the guidelines of an organizations like ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, CLA, like Central Licensing Authority, including our Health Ministry and Welfare Department, to oversee and monitor if these trials are being conducted as per the regulation set by the government. There are audits and inspections conducted by the responsible authorities throughout and even after the completions of the trials. From the data we receive from the trials, we get to know the safe dose fit for human use, the effectiveness and frequency with which the drugs can be prescribed. There goes tremendous hard work, diligence and minute detailing of every aspects of the trial for new medicines to be launched in the market. If there were no trials conducted, there would be no vaccines available for polio, typhoid, tuberculosis, or even the very famous COVID-19. We would not even wish to assume what course of event would have been if there were no vaccines for corona, especially after seeing the countless lifeless bodies during the second wave, and God forbid, we really don't know how many more yet to come. We do not know how many kind of diseases are yet we see. We need to be deeply thankful to all our people working towards the goal of getting a new medicines for the patients, or even the diseases that have no cure, and not forgetting the volunteers and the patients who participate in such trials, because it is because of them the incurable see a ray of hope. We can just hope the media is used as a platform to create awareness amongst the populations about the benefits of the trial. Other corporations can bring a positive change in the attitude of many towards clinical research industries. I mean, this particular lecture is specifically all about the awareness and importance of the clinical research industries in this world. If you have any query related to these particular trials, please let me know in the comment box below. And if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and press the like button. Thank you so much.